I think that there's this notion that as time goes on, grief goes away. And the truth is that grief is a really individual experience, and everybody's journey is their own. I mean, everybody has their own timeline. Very frequently, it's like 4 steps forward, 1,000 steps back, and maybe vice versa. And I think that the most important thing to remember when you're thinking about absence plus time is that there's no getting over it. You know, someone may be feeling like they're grieving for the rest of their lives. I do think the goal is to eventually feel like you're kind of living with the loss and folding it into your life in a way where you're able to kind of figure out some meaning from it and a way to live richly and as best as you possibly can, because you're alive and you deserve it, but you're always going to be feeling that loss. And so I think that when you are talking to someone, or if you have someone in your life who has an older loss, you really need to be aware of the fact that their relationship with loss and with the person who died is going to evolve. They are alive and their grief is alive because they're alive. That dynamic of grief is a very living, breathing entity, and they're going to regard their person in different ways as time goes by. For example, if your friend's mom died when she was 30 and she didn't have kids yet, maybe she has kids now, maybe she's in middle age, maybe she's reaching the age where her mom got sick or died and she's struggling with that. There are so many different ways in which the relationship evolves and becomes richer as time goes on. And on the one hand, that's a very beautiful thing because it's proof that the relationship really still is there when somebody dies. But on the flip side, it's very complex, and the overarching message is that grief is a thing that doesn't go away. And so we should always be mindful of that. We should never say, oh, well, that just happened years ago to them. They must be over it by now. I guarantee you, they're highly aware of their loss. Life is messy, just because somebody in our lives has, say, had a husband who died, it doesn't mean that you should feel like you have to hide the fact that you have a husband who you spend time with. I think that we get very nervous around people who are grieving. We don't want to rub something in their faces, but we also shouldn't go out of our way to try and hide our realities and our day-to-days, because I think that grievers, we're like any other human being. We have very sensitive antenna, and we can tell when someone's being a little nervous around us. And so I really don't think that, you should feel discomfort in talking about anybody in your life. The one thing that I do caution is saying things like, the fact that your mom died, God, it just makes me appreciate mine so much more. People do say this, and they say this as a way to kind of offer comfort sometimes, but it always backfires. It never makes anybody feel better, knowing that the person who's got the living mother now appreciates her even more.